371, 30-minute, 203-watt average Emma Lovewell 90s rock ride, okay? They've been slacking a little bit on the 30-minute rides. I had to go back in the catalog a little bit. I like the 90s rock rides, man, but it's too much Everlong, which is a great song. Don't get me wrong. I heard it so freaking much now. Too much. Please, please. I just never want to hear "Give It Away" by the Red Hot Chili Peppers ever again. Can I get some? Listen, they played "Possum Kingdom" by the Toadies. That's a song that I could do some pedaling to. They played "Tomorrow" by Silverchair. I can do 2.5 minutes out of the saddle at 60 to 70 there. That's a good song. Can I get some semi-charmed kind of life, baby, baby? Yeah, can I get some my neck, my crack? Lick my something and my something? POGCRAZY featuring Ryan Gary. Okay, let me take a look at this. Yeah, sure. Well, let's just add that one right there. I think I'm going to become one of those Twitch streamers that just has like a billion better Twitch TV emotes. There it is. Look at that. Are you a robe guy? Not at all. 0%. I'm not a robe guy. Hey, robege. Thanks for the gifted subscriptions. I am a robege guy today. I don't like comfort. I've worked from home for 12 years, roughly, and maybe 11 years. I am wearing my work from home uniform, a collared shirt, well-fitting denim pants, full socks. And they don't the socks do not merely go to the ankle, they go halfway up the shin. Cuz otherwise when I put on my damn Blundstones, the heel rubs against the skin and then I get a blister and you get the idea. What would you do if you had the Infinity Gauntlet? Listen, I'm going to use that as a segue because I was in Dan's chat earlier today. The man has in some ways lost his mind, I think, but I appreciate it. I think Dan and I have a very similar sort of content philosophy in some ways, which is to say that I think both Daniel and I just talk and don't really worry about what we're talking about. And then sometimes you talk yourself into a corner. Like for example, for me is saying that no game should ever have more than one upgrade mechanic. Every game should just have rocks, and you could pay for things with rocks. You could shove rocks into your weapon to make your weapon stronger. You could shove it into your armor, etc., etc. But then people are like, what about Elden Ring? It has two. And I'm like, it would be better if it just had one. Every game should have rocks, Roy. No, that's the thing, because God of War has rocks, Roy. He's hanging off your belt going, come on, Kratos, pick it up, get those knees high. Keep those knees up, Kratos, keep it up. Good hustle. I don't want that. But Dan somehow got himself into a corner saying, imagine if there was like a museum where you just walk through and look at pictures and you could digest the entire works of Shakespeare just by walking through the museum. And I was losing my mind. I don't understand. I have so many. We don't need to act like this is a serious argument because it just it's not worthy of it. But it's the idea that there would be value to knowing the rough summary of every Shakespeare play without having to go through that laborious process of actually reading it. It's such I've got a new place in the Hollywood Hills sort of way of thinking about reading is I've read 1,000 books. I read the Wikipedia synopsis of them. I get it. The 10 Habits of Highly Effective People. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here's number 11. Don't read an entire book. Just read the Wikipedia synopsis. There's obviously value to the play that is beyond just Romeo and Juliet meet, their families don't like each other, boom, 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 she goes to the apothecary, boom, 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 she's dead, he's dead, she's not dead, he's dead, you get the idea. And also, who are these people out there that this idea appeals to, People that are reading, I hate it. At the same time, I'm curious about this Shakespeare guy. I'd love to walk through I'd love to get in my car, drive to a museum, park, and then walk through a Shakespeare abridged picture book and just see what's going on. Wikipedia, no, not interested. Not interested in what that Jimbo Wales is selling, but I want to know. I don't want to read Infinite Jest, but if I could just have it ambiently enter my cerebral cortex and understand the labyrinthine structure and what David Foster Wallace was trying to do, I'd like it. Hey, I'm Jimmy Wales. I got an email from the Wikimedia Foundation. It said that they've done a really good job of getting your adrenaline up with every email. This email, I just popped up on my phone, push notification. This is my last email, ... I go to my Gmail inbox. They said, we're not going to ask you for money anymore. Something about that. I'd be surprised. Now, listen, I'm not, I give to I don't know if this is the Wikimedia Foundation and Wikipedia are the same thing. I give to Wikipedia, but we're at like 15 years of you asking me for money. I know you're not done asking. Maybe you're going to start demanding. That's a good way to explain it. Shit pisses me off too, because like you go to Wikipedia, you're just looking up like, oh, I wonder what serial killer worldwide has the highest kill count, and then you click on like some dude from Austria, and they're like, oh, just so you know, only 2% of people give. Okay, well, like I'm in the 2%, man. Why are you putting 98% of people onto me? I'm not part of the 98%. I'm part of the 2%. 0% should give? What are you talking about? Wikipedia is like, okay, the first sentence that came into my head is that Wikipedia is the only good charity. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know why that was the first instinct that I had. But Wikipedia is like a really good resource. Listen, twit longer. When I said that Wikipedia was the only good charity, I might have had a little bit of a blind spot, okay? I'm not saying you have to give. But like, if Twitter's worth $8, Wikipedia should be like, I don't even know, like $1,000 a month. They should put Wikipedia in a museum. That's so true. And then just have it be like, I can't believe that he tweeted a Where's Waldo photo for that. Like he tweeted a Where's Waldo photo and said, for example, Treasure Island. But like, that's not even, the Where's Waldo picture has nothing to do with Treasure Island except there's a beach. We don't even know if it's an island. Like if you want to get the plot of Treasure Island, without reading Treasure Island, just watch Muppet Treasure Island. It's 126 minutes long or something like that. Not 126 minutes, an hour and 26 minutes long. You get to see, who's the actor I'm thinking of who's in Muppet Treasure Island? Is Michael Caine in Muppet Treasure Island? And no, Tim Curry! Tim Curry! So true. And Billy Connolly. I forgot Billy Connolly's in that. Michael Caine's in A Muppet Christmas Carol. I saw that in theaters, man. Tim Curry, my beloved. Space! We'll go to the one place not... I don't know why it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. The one place not corrupted by capitalism. Space! It is great. Sorry, I watched Total Recall last night. So I've got Arnold on the brain. Get your ass to Mars. Get your ass to Mars. Get your ass to Mars. Saddest part about getting old is that you've seen all the good movies. Now, if anything, they're making like more of them now than they did back when I was a kid, honestly. The 90s were like a kind of a cool period for movies, especially for like semi-original blockbusters. It feels weird to say it, but like Jurassic Park. In 1993, that probably seemed like a huge risk, right? Whoa, a fucking $200 million movie about dinosaurs? Okay, whatever. Hey, Handsome Pantsome. I saw the call out, Handsome Pantsome. I saw the call out. With CGI, I know. But like, if the early 2000s were like a horrible period for movies, in my opinion. And that was a period when I was like 12 years old. I have like anti-nostalgia. Every movie was like, Jake Busey wants to fuck, but his girlfriend wants to get married. This movie's called the Jake Busey Fuck Fest. You cannot watch this shit 20 years later. It is like actually offensive. And yet we're going to stream it into your brain as an impressionable 12-year-old and be like, this is what it's like to be 25 in the year 2000. And I'm like POGing in the audience. Oh, okay. People G. How about that? Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill, for sure, for sure. Without a doubt. European no borders minefield. I almost said Minefeld, like ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, boom, boom. What's the deal with no man's land? If there's it's called no man's land. Why would I, a man, go there? And why do they make them so small? Let me get this straight. You want me, a man, to go into no man's land? Make it make sense, George. Jerry in the First World War? Jerry, it's the war to end all wars. Jerry! It's the Christmas truce, Jerry. Giddy up. Anyway, sorry. I'm just looking for a quiz. Surely there'll be some more wars. No more wars, Jerry! No wars! This is the war to end all wars! George's love interest seeing his rotted foot. I was in the trench! This is not really funny. This is pretty messed up. Honestly, big ups to, like, my great-grandparents and everybody from that generation for, like, doing that for me. I appreciate that. It's kind of horrific. Anyway. Sorry. Remembrance Day was 5 days ago. That's true. But I honored it by taking it off. Listen, it's just... listen, I take it with some serious... with the melancholy and macabre nature that it deserves. I listen to a lot of podcasts, okay? When is God of World War I coming out? You know what's crazy? They'll never make a God of World War I, but they would make a God of World War II. Where's my World War I video game? I get that people... Well, here's the thing is people, like, act like it would be so boring. They think that World War I was, like, 700 years ago. Oh... Yeah, World War I, that sounds like a lot of fun. You shoot your musket and then spend 90 seconds reloading it. And you're like, that's not even what it was. Listen, World War I starts, you'd be wearing bright orange clothes, and you would ride a horse into battle. You would get mowed down by a machine gun and then realize, we're not in Kansas anymore. That could be like the Medal of Honor battlefield opening. That could be like Saving Private Ryan, man. Thank you. I was on my rant. That boy Smarmy. Thank you for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. Is today pretend that Battlefield 1 doesn't exist? I don't know video games, honestly. That's just... I've never played a single Battlefield. Even 42. I'm telling you. This does look like something that H.P. Lovecraft could not describe. Me going to a cave in Antarctica that's recently been opened up due to melting ice caps, walking in and seeing something completely indescribable. If H.P. Lovecraft existed in 2022, all of his books would be like, it's like a fucking octopus fucked a cockroach. It looked like a fucking... Can you imagine H.P. Lovecraft going on Bill Burr's podcast? Shit was so fucking ugly. It looked like a fucking squid skull fucked a fucking platypus. It was almost indescribable. It was some kind of undescribable color, sort of like a purple, like a shimmering purple sort of thing. Anyway. Hey, get this off the screen. We go through this every time with the Nirvana. They should have done a censored Nirvana album cover. My Sense and Sensibilities, man. Beatles' White Album. Yep, that's definitely correct. Wrong. What app did I not look at? Hey, get off the screen! Get off the screen! Okay. / marker, Sporkle, post, Nirvana. You never seen someone more scared of a naked baby? You should have seen me opening my email inbox in 1997 and hearing ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka. Flip car. This is Death Race? What the hell is Flip car? Is this Mad Max? It does look... Isn't this the one at BattleBots? Here's my impression of every BattleBots episode, okay? Our robot is called Crusher. We made a sledgehammer with a diamond tip pick on the top of it. It can crack through solid bulletproof glass. Then it goes into the ring against like some robot that's called like Flippy. and they kind of like drive at each other, and then Flippy goes thump, and then the one with the sledgehammer just flips over, and we spend 3 minutes just watching it go. Just like they can't seem to get Crusher to get back on his wheels. You know what was a sick but simple BattleBot though? Was the one that just spun around really fast. So whenever like a robot crashed into it, it just ripped off like all of its plating. That was a cool robot. As was Sir Kill-A-Lot, who had a flamethrower. Missing cast member. Can you name the movie cast member whose face has been blanked out? Yeah, bro, that's Lawrence Fishburne. Show some respect. Never tell you about it. That's Matthew McConaughey, by the way. I saw this shit in theaters. Why? Penelope Cruz. Any questions? Ever tell you about how I want to walk around like Morpheus? I want to become like one of the old guys in H Mart who walks around with his arms crossed but behind his back. Nobody can be told what kimchi is. You have to experience it for yourself. But I think you got to be like at least 6'2" to do it. So I'm not sure if I can pull it off. Sorry. Yes, of course that's Sahara. That's Matthew McConaughey. TVs through time. Whoa. The 1928 Geodisc. Hold on. This shit is incredible. That's got to be like the 1970s, but that is it's the coolest looking TV I've ever seen in my entire life. Can you imagine having to install this in your conversation pit? It's got to be this, right? 1946. This quiz is so easy for me because I had each one of these growing up, obviously. 2001 Panasonic TX76 and a 2010 Sharp Aquos LED. Shit was probably like $3,500 when it came out. We got a 92%. But again, it's not fair because I lived through it. For must have been my 16th or my 17th birthday. My parents were like, we went crazy this year. We bought you a flat screen. It was I don't even remember the brand anymore. But it was 19 inches. I remember that. And we mounted that shit on our wall like Michael Scott. They were like, it's a little expensive, but it'll last forever. You know, like 10 years later, flat screen TV is like $75 on Black Friday. Who's that with a beer? That's Jimi Hendrix. It's a very controversial day of Sporkle today. That's David Beckham, the only person who can afford alcohol at a sporting event. This is Simu Liu. You're right, it's Ichiro. Son of a bitch. Okay, that's Daniel Craig. What are all these British shots of people drinking beers on TV shows? Bro, dude. Obama is loving that Guinness. I've never seen this photo before. He is savoring every last drop of this. Look at his face, man. Holy cow. This is me when I eat a white cheddar Quaker Oats rice cake. Holy cow. He is going pinkies up. Sponsored content. This is Katy Perry. It's an image that doesn't even really make sense. Ah, this image makes a lot of sense. Get your ass to bars. He's going POGCRAZY over it, man. Emma Thompson. I'm digging the pinkies up, man. You see, when you're a Hollywood actor or actress, they give you glassware. If you're flying coach, you get plastic knives. Here's a sous vide chicken breast that has the same texture as shoe leather, and here's a completely useless, flimsy plastic knife in order to chop it up. Oh, Miss Thompson, here you go. You're actually going off on airline food? Yeah. Okay, that's Jack Nicholson. This photo, listen, this photo is stupid. He's like 70-something years old in this photo. Like, what are you doing, man? You don't have anything else going on? Blowing smoke rings for Vanity Fair? Okay, this is a great Chib Stogie opportunity. You knew this was going to happen. He's not hiding. It's Bruce Willis. Dude, cigars are so funny. Oh, man. Now, if you could just like chew on that and we'll take a photo. Click. Can I tell you the only Waylon Jennings song I know is Mama, Don't Let Your Boys Grow Up to Be Cowboys. And I don't know the original. I only know the one from an Alvin and the Chipmunks CD I had when I was like 7 years old. That's a banger. You haven't heard it until you've heard Alvin, Simon, and Theodore's take on it. Chris Evans? What happened, man? Did you see the post from at Chris Evans? It literally does say his name there. You're not wrong. You see the post on Twitter yesterday from like at Chris Evans fan? And it was like a screenshot of like a twit longer that was like, Chris, we just want you to know that the fandom isn't disappointed you have a girlfriend. We're just disappointed with the way that you let us know you have a girlfriend. As a 30-year-old Chris Evans fan, I've never seen a rollout to a relationship worse than this. Over the years, in many interviews, you have insinuated that you're single and given your fans hope, but actually the whole time you're like, oh my God, relax, man. I saw your God of War rant on YouTube. Just go, NK. Your shelf. Stop making indie games your personality. You are not cool. God of War's graphics are so much better than the shit you play. Bro, are you crazy? This shit is photorealistic. You telling me that's not Chris Evans? You telling me that's not Captain America right there? This is indistinguishable from like a Nikon Coolpix megapixel resolution. How about this? Final Jeopardy. Can you name the Final Jeopardy answers? Holy cow, this shit's going to be impossible. The Final Jeopardy answers from season 15, January 4th to the 29th, 1999. You get a minute for each one. Final Jeopardy is all about like a little information like in your brain, but also context, okay? Bing, children's literature. This title character was inspired by a girl who had her appendix out in a French hospital run by nuns. Who is Madeline? I got it right, I guess. Ballet. Feeling the need for ballets about American life, this dancer choreographed his first ballet in 1944. Name an American dancer. Usher Raymond. Bruno Mars? Bruno Mars? Was it Bruno Mars? I can name another actor. Or another. Who's the one from The Simpsons? Fred Astaire is a great answer. Fred Astaire is a great answer. At 3,600 square miles, it's the largest island in the Mediterranean where Italian is not an official language. What is Cyprus? Oh! In 1909, he exhibited a group of his paintings entitled Nymphaeus Series de Passage d'Eau. Book about water fairies. Who is Shigeru Miyamoto? I'm going to say this is Matisse. I hit E like I was like, oh, that's definitely it. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says it's the nutrient Americans are most likely to be deficient in. What is B12? What is vitamin B12? What is vitamin K? What is vitamin D? What is zinc? What is selenium? Water. What is magnesium? Riboflavin? Manganese. What is vitamin A? There's no way it's vitamin C, dude. Could it be potassium? Could it be iron? Iron. Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. That's why it was my 20-second guess. Anyone else not want to say the answer but 100% knows it? So true. Me watching other streamers do trivia. I know this one. Then they guess the thing I was thinking, and it's wrong. You stupid motherfucker. You dumb idiot. How could you guess that? This animal's name is from Bantu for mockman. What is a chimpanzee? Oh! Hey, 8 out of 20. Okay, we tied the average. Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's home runs record with 715. Of course. Me in 1974 seeing a car parked out in front of a restaurant. Hey, that's Hank Aaron's car. Let's smash his window and take some of his money. He's loaded. You should get a license plate that's like, I'm a nobody. Martin Klaproth named uranium after Uranus, and this element after Uranus's children. I have no idea. Poopium. It's a good guess. Shittium, another good one. I don't know. Dude, Jeopardy's no joke. No wonder I keep not getting called back for my damn audition. Shit is impossible. Algeria. Note, it is now the largest country on the continent. Okay, it's larger than South Africa. The Mercator projection takes another victim. If this event hadn't happened, Methuselah might have lived past age 969. What is the Great Flood? Hey! The only country crossed by the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn. That would be Chile. I thought for sure it would be Chile, man. Its first two headquarters were Central Hall in London and Hunter College in the Bronx. What is the fucking Masonic Lodge? What's the fucking the Rotary Club? Instead of the Lions Club? Are these things? I don't know the difference between these. Okay, the UN? No way. First UN headquarters was the Hunter College in the Bronx. It is the UN. Helen Keller dedicated the story of my life to this man who taught the deaf to speak. I think it's Playboy Cardi. It's the first planet whose discoverer is known. Earth. It was discovered by the Almighty himself. Catch my ass out here saying Venus. Catch my ass out here saying Jupiter. Saturn. Probably Mercury if I had to guess. If I had to give you a straight guess, it would be Mars. Probably say Uranus is a good one. Numerical phrase in the title of 1955 autobiography of British physician Roger Bannister. So listen, this dude ran a 4-minute mile. 4 minutes to midnight. 4 minutes to freedom is not 80085, okay? 4-minute man? I don't know. Founder of the Friars Minor in the 13th century, he was made the patron saint of ecologists in 1979. It's okay, just, let me get some respect 600 years after I died. Who's John Botany? Alexander Graham Bell. Okay, that makes more sense than Playboy Cardi. The 4-minute mile. This motherfucker ran a mile in 4 minutes. What's his book called? 4 Minutes to Freedom? Good one. Really smart. St. Francis of Assisi. And, of course, John Jacob Astor Jingleheimer Schmidt. His name is my name, too. Okay, no cheating on this one. The only state whose name ends with 3 consonants. Fuck. Kentucky? Why is sometimes a vowel, man? That's not fair. Is it Kentucky? Kentucky? What? It's sometimes a vowel. The 3-word title of this play begins and ends with the same 7-letter word. What is a Midsummer's Night's Midsummer? Listen. This is too hard for me. Jeopardy in the 90s was a different beast. Next pair in this sequence: space exploration, Gumdrop, Spider, Charlie Brown, Snoopy. Is this SATs? Yeah. Wake up. Drink. Pass out. Drink. I don't even know how to answer the question, honestly. Listen. 1990 Tournament of Champions final. I'm not cut out for this type of Jeopardy. Okay, Columbia. I got 15%, by the way. Columbia and Eagle, of course. Okay, my mistake. Wait, there were like 4 more questions. I don't know why I just gave up. Columbia and Eagle. Let's see if I would have gotten this. It's the only inhabited U.S. territory south of the equator. What is American Samoa? Oh! Would take me up to 21%. Jarvis, take me south of the equator. Take me somewhere south of the equator where there's still a Pizza Hut, Jarvis. Stat. Jarvis, I'm gonna need an extra large meat lovers on the table at the American Samoa's best Pizza Hut stat. In 1661, 2.5 years after his death, his body was exhumed and hanged at Tyburn. Who is Guy Fawkes? Who is James of Hearts? Cromwell. They dug that motherfucker up and hanged him again. That shit must have stunk, dude. In 1879, he showed that gastric juices can be produced without food being put in the stomach. Who is Bill Hydrochloric? Who is Dr. Penfield? I don't know. John Stomach. The 1950s. He died October 9th, 1958 at Castle Gandolfo. Who is Franco? Oh, that felt like a lock. It felt like a lock, man. Sarumano. I don't know. This is hard. In New York City in 1955, she said, an actress's life is so transitory. Suddenly you're a building. What does that mean? Who is Jessica Empire State? Jessica MoMA? 2 characters in this American classic were named for a king of Israel and the oldest son of Abraham. The book is called Moses Abel. Moses was not the king of Israel. It's good as so. Is this of mice and men? Is Abraham's oldest son Lenny? I have no idea, man. Okay, I can do this. I'm entering my. The thing is, Final Jeopardy tends to be the hardest, but you get to warm up with like, for $100, name a word that ends with Y. And you go like, parsimony, you know? You get to spend 20 minutes getting warmed up for Final Jeopardy. Let's just put ourselves in the mind palace. 2 of the 4 African countries that have been members of the UN since its founding. Egypt. Hey. I was thinking Ethiopia because they fought against the Axis in World War II. So it seems like that when they founded the UN, they might have just been like, hey, everybody in the group chat, we need you to sign this real quick. That was the other one I was thinking of. At the premiere of this handle work, explosions destroyed part of the outdoor pavilion. What is the Messiah chorus? What is Hallelujah? What is the Messiah chorus? He didn't make the 1812 overture. That shit is Tchaikovsky. You Philistines? You don't think it's... dude, it's gotta be the Hallelujah chorus. There's no way they weren't pogging out of their gourd for that back in fucking like 1703 or whatever. By the way, I saw the whole... I don't know if it's a symphony, but Kate played in it when she was still in university. It was around Christmas season. One of the few times you're going to see the concert hall packed. 80-year-olds as far as the eye could see. Everyone's sitting in their audience. Shit is like 17 hours long and completely worthless, except just like 2/3 of the way through, they play that piece. And everyone's like, yes! Yes! Anyway. The rest of it is a damn sleep aid. It's auditory melatonin. He was attacked by Armacator. They saw the lion and the kangaroo take her. The first president to serve 8 full years. Bro, there's no way they didn't re-up on Jefferson, right? It just pops into your... Listen, I'm not standing Thomas Jefferson. If that dude does the Louisiana Purchase and you get to cast a ballot again, you're like, we sign up for 4 more years of that. Music for the Royal Fireworks? Nobody's ever heard of that? The Wright Pavilion caught fire. Also, a woman's clothes were set on fire by a stray rocket, and other fireworks burned 2 soldiers and blinded a 3rd. Some things never change. Do you think fireworks are dangerous now? Imagine what it was like in 1749. It sounds like they were setting that shit off during the lumber section of a Home Depot. This is like the hardest quizzes I've ever seen in my entire life. How about this one? Can you name the final Jeopardy question from the Celebrity Invitational? See, the ones that they give to the Hollywood actors, I think I stand a chance at. Ironically, he lost the leading role in the 1960 play The Best Man because he didn't look presidential. Who is Reagan? See, now this is more my speed. It was inspired by a piece of Australian physical education. What is the boomerang? What? What is the hula hoop? I would have, on regular Jeopardy, I would have read the whole question, okay? In 1970, he became the first professional actor to become a lord. A Laurence Olivier. Ooh! A contemporary review of this 1851 novel said, "Who would have looked for poetry in blubber?" See, like, dude, I'm really... The problem is, I don't need to get smarter. I need to get more famous. It's really hard to get smart enough to be on normie Jeopardy. If I could just get famous enough to be smart by Celebrity Jeopardy standards, that would crush, man. I need to get to, like, the ninja level. Streamer Jeopardy. Listen, I'm not saying I would be the best, but I would at least get to the audition phase, I think. Capricorn? His name is often combined with corn. Capricorn. They don't put a damn pun in the freaking question. I mean, the answer. MF didn't know Charlie Brown. Well, I don't know why it's talking about a home run. Wasn't Charlie Brown constantly trying to kick field goals? And then Lucy was pulling the ball away like Jerome Powell. He played b-ball too. B-ball is basketball. When Chaos says, "I'll be a boy standing in your b-boy stance," you think he means this? By the way, I know you're like great form on the batting stance. Thank you. I did played about 8 years of casual softball in elementary school. I was more of a fielder. I am a lefty, it's true. Was more of a fielder than a batter, and to be honest, like, that doesn't matter that. If they had a Gold Glove for Little League at the level I played at, I probably would have gotten the Gold Glove. I honestly think I had seasons with no errors, but I mean, listen, I probably batted around 500, which is actually like one of the worst batting averages you can have in Little League. Because if you hit that ball, you're making it to first. As long as you're not popping out, that shit is going to first. No shot, you had 500. Bro, the first like 3 years of Little League, you pitch to your own team. And sometimes you're still striking out, but because you be looking at your pitcher like, can you throw me like a motherfucking, can you throw me a heater down the middle? They're going, and then just like, listen, the level of Little League I played at was so bad that you never deliberately threw a ball as the pitcher. You would still walk like one person an inning just accidentally. I was not a bad pitcher. Look, I was, because I played in a low league. But I was usually the best pitcher on my team. But you only got in casual softball, you only got to pitch 2 or 3 innings of like a 6-inning game because they were worried you'd blow out your rotator cuffs. So I'm not trying to flex too much, right? And again, I was not a good batter, but I would always pitch like inning 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, and then our team would be like, okay, we'd be in it, and then fucking, the bullpen comes up and they can't even get 3 strikes across the plate to begin with, much less put some damn heat on it. All of a sudden, we're losing the game like 12-3. to Bill's Hardware. Dudes, you haven't experienced misery. I don't even know like how my parents dealt with it in the stands. Watching a kid walk 4 consecutive batters to load the bases and then walk another 4 consecutive batters to just let 4 runs walk in. Your ass just saw like 32 straight balls. Those were the days, man. You know what? Let's load up Rumbleverse Season 2. You've been good. My principles mean nothing. You have it installed? I downloaded it last night. Because here's the thing. I was going to play a new PvE Tarkov style game called Zero Sievert, okay? Then I went into the Discord, because I know we got a lot of Tarkov fans in there, and I said, hey, be honest, would you like Zero Sievert? Would I like Zero Sievert? Okay? And Sinvicta said probably for about as long as you like Tarkov. Corey said it's basically a simpler Tarkov, no PvP, some stalker elements. I don't know what the hell that means. So I said, I'm not fucking around with that shit. Are you crazy? The hell is some stalker vibes? Like I'm gonna walk through Siberia and discover an artifact that reveals something about myself? I don't get it. / marker, Rumbleverse. I know I said I would never play this again, but then like I ran out of things to play, so I decided to play a little Rumbleverse. Hey, look at this. We can get the battle pass and unlock some cool dogs. That looks cool. Let's see what else they got in Season 2. Take a break from the office and chill out by the beach. Be sure to stay clear of any hooks, of course. This is Season 2 starter pack. I gotta be honest, the squid bucket hat is kind of sick. And explore the new neighborhood at Low-Key. The new island of Low-Key has arrived. There's so much to do. So much wrong with taking the back streets. You may recall that when we played Rumbleverse last time, I had kind of gotten horrendous, and I think that I'll probably like be even worse for now, but let's run the casino anyway. There's always an unless. Hold on, it says that my microphone is on. I would like to stop that because I don't want to... Although, wait a minute, did they add... Hold on, I got a voice chat. Disabled. Thank you. I appreciate that. Holy cow, it was on enabled. That would have been a disaster. But what if they had not proximity chat, but like Warzone has? The greatest invention Warzone ever added. When you kill somebody, you get access to their mic for like 3 seconds. So you could hear like, ah! He's on me, he's on me, he's on me, guys! That's one of the smartest things that Warzone has added to the gaming industry without a doubt. That's all the way from Black Ops? Really? The subreddit seems to suggest that the game is broken. Okay, reddit.com/r/Rumbleverse. Rumble support Twitter says the game is down right now. I'm really not like the new update might uninstall the game. Friends list broken? Season 2 roadmap. You gonna fix the queues at any time? Okay, hold on. Twitter, Rumbleverse. We are continuing to investigate longer matchmaking time and issues with matchmaking regions. We will... Listen. 4 hours ago. We've completed deployment of Season 2 and fixed an issue preventing players from being able to matchmake from the end of the match screen. We are actively investigating longer matchmaking times and will provide an update as soon as possible. 29 minutes ago, we are continuing to investigate longer matchmaking times and issues with matchmaking regions. We'll provide further updates when we have them available. It's the struggle, the Ouroboros of modern gaming. Get bored with the content in a game. They come out with new content, can't play the new content because everybody wants to come back and play the new content. Hey, come back in 2 weeks when the new content is old and less people are interested in it. Then it's going to work like a damn charm. But I don't want to... It's like people are like, I don't eat dinner at 6 p.m. The restaurant's too busy. I eat one dinner at 4 p.m. and one dinner at 9:30. Also, Mimir is on your belt. So true. Okay. Well... I mean, it's just, like, honestly, maybe I've learned my damn lesson. Maybe my lesson is I never should have gone back on my damn principles and downloaded Rumbleverse, because, like, when you get back into this games as a service nightmare, like, it's just driving me crazy. Matchmaking, I'm just looking at Rumbleverse support. Servers are down in Asia. Please, I can't play. My game crashes randomly. Solos are unplayable. Fix the game. Can I tell you, I'm a little scared for Rumbleverse that this tweet from 30 minutes ago about the game not working has 30 likes. It's very funny. You gonna play Rumbleverse in season 2? No. You gonna play Rumbleverse in season 2? No. You gonna play Rumbleverse in season 2? No. You gonna play Rumbleverse in season 2? Okay, fine. I'll give it a shot. Sorry, the servers are down. I'm just gonna pay out like a random casino result. I'm gonna say like, what if I won? I'm just joking. We'll delete that one. Delete and return points. Psycho arc. Dude, you know what we should do? Please do not bet heavy on this, all right? Are you ready for this casino? Which casino result will I select? This one, 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 this one. All right, you got 30 seconds. Place your bets. Bro, I can't look at what people are betting because it'll influence what I select. I've already, in my head, I've chosen which one I'm going to select, okay? It does feel like a Saw death puzzle. Okay, the one I am taking is the second one from the bottom. I would like to congratulate Chuck Westmiller, who is about to receive a 10x on their 250,000 points. We get an @Chuck Westmiller clap, easy clap. Do I not have easy? Oh, I do have easy clap. There you go. Let's go! I'm a genius. Oh, man. Can we react to other subreddits? Well, here's the thing. Like, I really like stupid food. But, like, the stupid food subreddit is just the same 4 channels over and over. Except for the Pappy Steak, where they have a briefcase full of Wagyu beef that they hit with a branding iron. Like, the rest of the subreddits are like, it's just like, Tipsy Bartender is like, what if I put a $700 bottle of cognac with some Kool-Aid and then, yo, could you occify a pepperoni pizza? At first, you put the pizza on the grill. Then you put the grill on the grill. Yo, yes, sir. Can't forget the Bev. Never, never, never. You ever go to Yodi Land? I have no idea what that means, so I'm going to say no. I'm not going to incriminate myself if that ends up being something spicy. You know what I was thinking, though, when you said Yodi? It got me thinking. I was talking about this yesterday. What if there was a Yoda in Star Wars and they introduced him, but like you see the Yoda and you're like, oh shit, that's a Yoda. But then instead of saying like shit backwards, he just said it normally. You would know instantly that that dude was a villain, right? If there was like an after credit scene in the new Star Wars movie and there was a Yoda, and then the Yoda was just like, Luke, I'm hungry. You'd be like, oh shit, this is the baddest motherfucker in like the whole galaxy. Like a menacing Yoda? That's Yaddle? What the hell is... I thought Yaddle was Yoda's wife. He can't get married? Why? Like, because he's already married? Please look up Yaddle. Bro, what are they doing in Star Wars? What the hell are they doing in Star Wars, man? Yaddle. Look at this shit. He's got like he's got a haircut and everything. Yep, that's Yaddle. Yaddle is a force-sensitive female being of the same species as Grandmaster Yoda and Grogu. Are you telling me that? Are you telling me that Yoda just talks like that because he's kind of a freak? Like, he's just a idiosyncratic old man? That's not like how all the Yodas talk? He just talks backwards for fun? That shit is crazy, man. Oh, man. She trained a Thespiasian Padawan, Oppo Rancisis, who eventually joined Yaddle on the High Council by the time of the invasion of Naboo. In 32 Bed Bath & Beyond, Qui-Gon Jinn brought the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker, to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, where he met Yaddle and the Jedi Elders. Following the Battle of Naboo, Yaddle pursued fellow Jedi Master Dooku after observing suspicious behavior on his part. She ended up encountering the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Sidious, who ordered the Jedi Master to kill his colleague. Yaddle was subsequently defeated and killed by Dooku, another step on his path to the dark side. What do you mean his path to the damn dark side? Motherfucker chopped Yaddle's head off, and he's almost there. In 14 before Baby Yoda, Yaddle was remembered and mentioned by name by the Latero pilot Grease Dritus, who speculated on her fate during the Great Jedi Purge with his Jedi associates, unaware of Yaddle's actual death date. In 12 BBY, Darth Vader encountered apparitions of several Jedi, including Yaddle, while experiencing a series of Force visions. That's, you know what? I'd like to learn a little bit more about her personality. Yaddle was highly sought after for her great wisdom, and also her quiet demeanor, patience, and kindness. She looked up to Yoda, who belonged to the same species as her, but was nearly twice her age. Yaddle had auburn hair that she wore in a pair of long plaits, green gold eyes, green skin, and a height of 0.61 meters. She was greatly revered in the Jedi Temple and regarded as legendary by some of the population of the planet Latourneaus. Yaddle would freely give former advice to her students. That's nice. Yaddle was skilled in little-known and deadly Jedi powers, such as Moritro, an ancient art that enabled the user to slow the opponent's bodily functions to the point of death. How did that not help her against Dooku? She couldn't just stop that dude's metabolism? She made him a little constipated? She utilized Form 3 of lightsaber combat. She was strong enough in the Force to lift massive metal hanger doors, and was able to contend briefly with Count Dooku in lightsaber combat, but doing so tired her greatly, possibly due to her great age. She was fighting a man played by a 92-year-old actor at the time, so sure. It got like 1 billion appearances. I had no idea. Who knew? So there's your story on Yaddle. I do kind of want to see Form 3 of lightsaber combat. What's Form 3? It's also known as the Sorizu, Way of the Minok, or the Resilience form. It's the third form of lightsaber combat. It focused more on defense than attack. Proficient in its use, Jedi Master Depa Billaba taught her students, including Caleb Doom, who changed his name to Canon Jarrus after Order 66. Jarrus later used Form 3 against the Grand Inquisitor, who recognized it as a staple of Billaba's instruction and was able to counter Jarrus' attempts to use it against him. What the hell is going on? This shit is crazy. This is too much. Let me look up the forbidden style of Jedi lightsaber work. I can't even tell you guys about this. All I'm going to say is it involves Padawan Imri Kantaros, and I don't think I need to go into any more of it than that, honestly. Also, every time I go to this page, it plays an ad for the Mario movie. I can't, man. I can't. My wife is a grade A+. That wife guy spotted! A grade A+ wife! Dude, me too. Picky eater. Oh, no. Oh, he buried the lead. She'd get very offended and upset. My wife said it's not her problem. She was just trying to make it work by bringing her own meal. I told her not again. Wait, I told her again that mom might not like nor even allow this. There is something very, and this is probably not the point of the post, but when a man who's presumably an adult calls his mom in the post instead of my mom or my mother, that just feels wrong. It feels like the post is written by, it's like an email written from one sibling to another. Like, she's not our mom. Stop calling her mom. Even when I talk to my wife, I never just say mom, even though she knows I'll be talking about my mom. I always say my mom will be here, blah, blah, blah. I don't just say mommy's coming. She got quiet, then lashed out at me, calling me insensitive and negative to say this to her. I repeatedly asked her to calm down. Oh, husband of the year. That should do the trick. But she couldn't stop ranting about how I was basically willing to exclude her from a major event. She started cold shouldering me. Dude, women are always like this. You have an argument, things get personal, you know, the husband says something over the line, and then she's like, doesn't want to talk to me for some reason. What's up with that? My wife has decided to spend Thanksgiving with her family, who, by the way, live hours away. So this means unnecessary travel expenses. You know, seeing your family, unnecessary. Seeing my family, a sacred event that you can't even bring your own food to. Instead, and basically ditch me for a whole week. Y'all happy now? Y'all happy? Reddit, you did this to me. Though I appreciate some insightful comments on the situation, some others not so much, especially with the assumptions claiming my wife has allergies. She does not. Stop trying to take the side of my life partner. Y'all get that from? But anyway, it's all good now. I guess, though, I'm not too thrilled with her decision. I feel like she's doing it to spite me or get me to cave in. Bro, she doesn't, like, care about you, like, at all right now. She's not part of the fight anymore. She has sidestepped the fight, and she's living her best life. This is not the right way to handle the situation at all. Am I the asshole? Yeah, because, like, it just, why, what's wrong with her bringing her own food to Thanksgiving? Like, it's a holiday, but it's just a meal. Like, Thanksgiving is not like a sacred religious feast or anything like that. It's just, you eat some turkey, some mashed potatoes, you watch football. I brought my own food to Thanksgiving. I was a vegetarian. I went to Thanksgiving. I brought some frozen samosas, and I ate the frozen samosas. I mean, I cooked them, I didn't eat them straight out of the freezer. But, like, is it rude to the host? I don't think so. Everybody hated you? No, if any, they kind of taunted me a little bit. Ooh, you want some of this turkey? And I was like, nah, man, the samosas are acceptable. But it's family. Just, can't he just, like, text his mom and be like, hey, you know, my wife's going to bring samosas this year? I don't understand the problem. She doesn't want to share? Like, so what? Listen, like, sharing is good, but you don't have to do it. Like, you don't have to bring enough food for the rest of the class. If everybody else, like, I don't understand why it's rude to anybody else at the Thanksgiving dinner. I've never been at Thanksgiving and have somebody bring their own food and been like, oh man, I'm so unhappy. I'm eating turkey, gravy, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, green beans, corn, dinner rolls, butter, pumpkin pie, sparkling apple cider, red wine. Like, it's a damn feast, man. You're gonna be the kind of guy that shows up to a feast and you're like, oh, she brought that bologna sandwich. Looks freaking choice, man. Did you bring 16 bologna sandwiches for the rest of the people here? I mean, I just don't see what the wife did wrong here at all. Like, okay, I think it's a little bit crazy that she's a picky eater and can't eat anything at Thanksgiving, which is like, I mean, most people are not picky eaters about, like, you know, turkey or mashed potatoes or corn or, like, bread, at least in the US, okay? I can't speak for the rest of the world. It is a little odd, but, like, if her choices are, you know, go to Thanksgiving and be unhappy and shove food that she doesn't like in her face to placate this guy's mother. I guess what I'm trying to say, and it comes back to this a lot. When you marry someone, while you're married, you got to be in your spouse's camp instead of your parents' camp, except for situations that are truly insane. You can't side with your mom by default over your spouse. Like, you had a whole ceremony about it. You put rings on each other's fingers. Like, do you, husband, agree to sever the relationship that you have with your parents, still keep it, but sever the sacred tie and transfer that tie to somebody else? Do you consent to add a new number one to your MySpace circle? Okay, so, like, I don't understand why. I mean, I feel like if I was in this situation, I would be, and my mom was being weird about it, I'd be like, hey mom, listen, I know it's fucking weird that she doesn't eat, like, turkey and mashed potatoes, but at the same time, if you want her to come to Thanksgiving and not be uncomfortable, then you know, she's got to bring her own food. And if my mom was like, no, then I'd be like, well, I can't come to Thanksgiving this year. Maybe we'll try it again next November. Because, like, it just seems like, my take is that it's not a big deal for her to bring her own food. What would make her an asshole if she was like, don't cook turkey and mashed potatoes. Don't cook the food you normally cook for Thanksgiving. Instead, cook something else for everybody to eat that only I want. If she was like, can't we just order 4 pepperoni pizzas this year and put mayonnaise on top of them? Then you would be like, holy cow, she'd be like Reddit enemy #1. But like, if she is like, I don't want to eat this, and she brought her own food, then who cares? It's not that big of a deal. So I would say, yes, he's the asshole. And I'm doubling down and going like, I'm going asshole squared, because he made an update, and I don't know how, like, maybe this is a day later, maybe it's 6 hours later. But if like you're the asshole and then your emotions come down and you're like, I was the asshole, thanks Reddit, that's one thing. But if you're the asshole and then like 8 hours later you're like even more mad about it than you were before, then like you're asshole squared, and I don't give out that verdict very often. You got to give yourself, you got to take a deep breath, you got to count to 10, and then you got to recognize, you have some like look inside of you and say, I'm the problem with this situation. I'm going to apologize, and even if I apologize, it might not make it right straight away, but we'll like work towards it in the future. I don't understand that. It seems crazy. You're the asshole. She offered a compromise. My wife's family does the Feast of the 7 Fishes. I have never heard of this in my life, but I'm a big fish guy. I hate fish, so since I joined the family, it's the Feast of the 7 Fishes and the chicken. We all get a good laugh, and my mother-in-law is happy to make it for me. Feast of the 7 Fishes? Is it 7 different fishes, or is it just 7 like of the same fish? There's 7 different fish courses. Dude, that sounds kind of sick, honestly. You're the asshole for not standing up for your wife. She's trying very hard to make the holidays work for your family, but you only care about your mommy's feelings. Capital M, doing psychic damage to the OP for sure. If your mother is so thin-skinned she can't handle the idea that people have different dietary needs, she doesn't get to host parties. Well, she does. She just gets to only invite insane people. Your update makes you absolutely the asshole. Hundreds of people are telling you need to support your wife, and you got angry that she's going to go to her family who does support you. Man, you are a terrible husband. Usually, I'm like, you can't read that much into it, but I would say this might be a rare exception. She came up with a solution to endure the hell that is being around your mother. Okay, now this... Did the mother do anything in the post except cook the Thanksgiving feast? I get the idea that, like, it seems like the mother is a you-know-what, because the son is like, oh, mom might not like it, but the son might just be like a big puss, honestly. I don't want to tell my mom something that might disappoint her. The mom... He might text his mom and be like, she's going to bring samosas to Thanksgiving. And mom would be like, let's go, You told her you were too scared of mommy to even allow your wife to suggest finding a solution. Gosh, mommy is so scary. When she told you you were insensitive to her legitimate problem, you told her to calm down. Ugh, women, right? Come on, dude. You should be thankful your wife isn't picky about the man she marries. Oh, man. Oh, that last sentence made me spit out my coffee. I can't. OP, you're the asshole. User received Reddit this for this post. Info, has your mother attempted to... Okay, listen. We know this. There's no controversy here. This person they're out of line, okay? Am I the asshole for kicking a girl I didn't know out of my wedding? Hey, man, I mean, it depends on the situation. If they're like a +1 and you kick them out because you don't know them, like that's what a +1 is. If you knew who they were, their ass would be like invited. We only gave +1s to married couples or if we knew the significant other well. Why does this come up so often? You have so much to already worry about, like at your own wedding. It's way too much work for some shit that is like 5 to 6 hours long with the ceremony plus the reception. It takes like months for most people to plan. Why complicate it by being like, I'm going to draw a delineating line on every single guest? I mean, like, yeah, that's also valid. I get that it's more expensive, but like, if you either got to give like no +1s, or you got to give a +1 to everyone that you invite. And if you're fucking worried about the price, just get married at City Hall and then like go out to Coyote Ugly or something afterwards. Like, I don't understand. I get that it's expensive. Also, the husband and a wife is not +1. They're one unit. When you send the wedding invitation to a person, if they have a spouse and it's not like an incredibly small intimate wedding, it's an implicit +1. It always says like to Mr. and Mrs. Levinson Gould, I was a plus one at a wedding when I was probably 19. I had never met the bride nor the groom in my entire life. I went to the ceremony, paid my penance, paid my dues, sitting there for 45 minutes watching two strangers I've never seen and have never seen again get married in a church I've never been to. I have no idea what happened to their marriage since, but then I ate a pretty nice meal in an outdoor heated tent and ripped up the open bar like it was going out of style. I think I have an obligation to pay it forward, okay? If I'm going to invite a single person or a person that's in a casual relationship to my wedding, if I respect the person enough to invite them to see me at my most vulnerable and intimate, then sure, they can bring someone along as well for the ride. I don't want them to have to be the third wheel to married couples. Like, this shit is like just fucking weird. Anyway, I was pissed since I made an exception for him and didn't want anyone random at my wedding. I had one of the bridesmaids go to him and tell him he could stay, but can his date please go back to the hotel? This is a private event. You're crazy. You've lost your mind. You realize, it sounds like you're probably spending upwards of 10 grand on this wedding. What is this one extra guest going to cost? They already bought the food. I don't understand what's the issue. They're already there. The damage is, if there's any damage, and I wouldn't consider it damage in the first place, the damage is already done. He said okay and didn't make a fuss, but he left with her and didn't come back. I thought everything was fine and had a great night. My husband found out the next day and we got in an argument. He's mad because his friend traveled and I kicked him out without talking to him. I didn't kick him out, just his date. Sanest Redditor. Is this what we call a bridezilla? Now it's a few weeks later. My husband still brings it up from time to time and his friend hasn't been answering his texts. I kind of feel bad because, but it was my wedding. I didn't want any strangers there. Yes, the asshole. Of course. I mean, if somebody broke into your wedding and then, was eating food out of the cloche or something like that, or you taking a handful of wedding cake, then yeah, you can kick them out. But, kicking out your guests plus one is a little crazy. I don't understand. I also don't understand why she did it. I also don't understand what the hell's going on in this r/Fusebox Games post on the sidebar, but I'm very uncomfortable. Well, now you know how I felt when you kissed Eddie, and it's two cartoon ladies hanging out in like a cabana. I don't know what's... I've seen enough mobile game advertisements to know, I think, what happens next. I'll go check it out and let you know. Okay, thank you. Thank you. You're the asshole. What is the... What, yeah, no, I mean, I already gave my verdict, so we'll read the comments here, but, I mean, I just don't understand. It's not just, that's, something you shouldn't do, but, why are you worried about that? It's your wedding. Just chill out. It's like trying to... you're on a train, it's already left the station, and you're like, oh no, I wanted to actually upgrade my seat. It's like, this shit is in motion, baby. You gotta just sit back and pull out the iPad or something like that. You just gotta relax as much as you can. And then later be like, talk to your husband and be like, I can't believe that he brought a new girl when we said we weren't gonna have plus ones. And then your husband would be like, yeah, I know, I'll talk to him about it. And he would never text him, but you would at least feel like you guys are on each other's team, right? Just let them be at the wedding and then save your insane complaint for after, when he can no longer tell you what he really thinks about it because you're joined in holy matrimony. There's a balance to all this stuff. A spouse is someone, you don't do insane things. You think insane things, and then you tell them to your spouse later. I don't hit people with my car, but sometimes I'd come home from driving, and I was like, I should have hit them with my car. And she's like, yeah, well, no, but... And that's the way it goes. That's what keeps this blue marble spinning, okay? I tell you guys about it, too. That is true. You were so concerned about making the wedding perfect for yourself that you ruined it for your husband. You're the asshole. Science is all about coulda, not shoulda. You were so concerned about whether or not you could. Forgot to consider whether or not you should. One of the most finest microgeneticists the world has ever known. And he spared no expense, Jimmy. Just so you guys know, if you're interested, let me scroll here for a second. There's a new loot drop happening at Burger King. Cop a Whopper meal and get a unique code for a BK Call of Duty skin and double XP for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Level up with this offer available for a limited time. If you buy a Whopper meal from this person who is definitely not Dr. Disrespect. Can I copy your homework? Yeah, but don't make it too obvious. Redeem a bonus BK operator skin and 2 XP token. That is Professor Rudeness right there. How am I the asshole for letting my mother have a copy of the key to our new home despite my wife's objection? Let's see. I recently bought a one-story house. Note that it was purchased solely by me. My wife did not help me save for it. I started saving for it before I even met her, and it's in my name. We'll see how the courts feel about that one. When my parents threw us a party for this happy occasion, Mom asked for a copy of the key in case of an emergency. I let her have it, which made my wife upset. She said she doesn't feel comfortable with the idea of someone else who's not a resident having a copy of the key. She also brought up how my mother didn't pay a penny towards the house. Oh, here we go. I can tell where this is going already. The male urge to own someone in a conversation against your own best interests. I felt it. As soon as he wrote that his wife said his mom didn't contribute to the financial wherewithal of the house, I was like, here it comes. She didn't either. It's just something in the masculine brain that is like, I can land a shot here. I can score some points with the judges. So this should disqualify her from getting the key. I said it wasn't a big deal, but she kept persisting, saying I need to take... Oh, well, maybe it's just me, actually. Saying I need to take the key back. Quite frankly, this had me fuming. I pointed out that I'm the one who bought the house, and it's my decision to decide who gets a copy of the key. End of story. She screamed at me, saying that technically she did contribute to the house savings back when she used to pay for our rent and daily expenses while I saved money. Bro... I saved all this money. Look, you decided to pay for all of our bills and our rent out of the goodness of your heart. That has nothing to do with my ability to save money. Are you stupid? You're crazy. Well, like on the one hand, sure, maybe it doesn't matter if she didn't pay for the house considering they're married. So like everything they own is like basically, I don't know, it depends legally on where they are, I guess. But at least in Canada, it's like whether you paid for it or she paid for it, it belongs to both of you. But moreover, this dude's acting like he bought the house he scrimped and saved, but the only reason he was able to scrimp and save was because of the fact that she was paying for everything in the first place while he was saving the money. It's like those posts that are like, here's how I paid off my student loans in 1 year. And it's like, I never bought coffee outside. I made lunch in my house. I canceled subscription services that I didn't need. And also my parents paid for my rent the entire time and also dropped off groceries 2 times a month. Like, it's like, then the reason you did it is because you fucking idiot. They gave you money. They didn't deliberately say, here's your student loans repaid. But what they did say is, we're going to hold you up while you knock that shit out for yourself, and then we're going to let gravity take you back down to earth when it's easier for you. We've been going back and forth on it since then. She's now letting me know that if I don't take the key back, she'll do it herself. Based, girl boss? I think it's crucial to mention there's no conflict between my mother and my wife. They're on near perfect terms. All right. I thought I already established that above. So I think it is a little weird. I don't think she's doing anything necessarily sneaky, but I think it is a little weird to be this upset that your spouse's parent has a house key. What does she think's gonna happen? They're gonna like steal her stuff. It does add like a liability. What if your mother-in-law loses the house key? What if she opens the door and lets your dogs out or something like that? But that's, you just say, hey, don't lose that. I mean, you can't be married to someone and be like, this is my house. Like, that's just not. It's not how it works. Just saying it out loud is making me laugh. It's not your house. Like, you live there together and you're married. Like, it's a shared asset, even if not legally, but usually legally, because it's like, you're using it together. Listen, this is rare for me. I do think it's an everybody sucks here. I do think that the wife has the right to say that person doesn't get a key to the place where I also live. But I do also think is weird. And the husband is definitely a bit of an asshole in the situation for sure. mostly for not acknowledging that his wife did contribute to the household by paying the bills while he was saving money. Like if she's paying your bills and you're using the money that you saved on the bills to save money, she's helping you. She's paying half into the savings fund. Like you gotta understand that, right? Just because it's in your name. This guy, he's just obsessed with titles too. He's obsessed with the deed and the pink slip and the who's got the routing number and what's the bank's address. Like he's all tied up in the legality, and he's missing the obvious stuff that you're going 50-50. I mean, I'm giving it an everybody sucks here. I think he sucks more, but I think that I'm not even saying she's doing anything wrong. It just seems a little crazy. You wouldn't be okay with his mom having a key, because I just want her to articulate what she's worried about. I guess she could be like, I'm just uneasy with it, and that's fine. But suck it up, I guess. But I think he's worse. Because I don't know why he's so obsessed with the deed. You mentioned the deed like 5 times. Yeah, because I forgot if I said it or not. It's not like if I put my mom's name on the deed. My name's on the title. I paid for the house with the money she allowed me to save. You're the asshole. And this is why you can't trust no one when it comes to money. You played your wife. You probably told her you would. What is this insane post that is fan fiction? You probably told her you would save for a shared home, and that's why she should support you and pay your share of the rent. Now she didn't contribute a penny to your house. Your house. She gets no say, but your mom does. Lol. You're the asshole. Supreme Court just ass. User received Reddit gold for this post. 55,000 upvotes. There's a little bit of, I'm not going to say projection, but the little fantasy there. Info. She paid all the rent while you were saving. Why isn't her name on the deed? It's called financial abuse, and it's a common tactic used by narcissistic assholes to maintain power in the relationship. I don't know. Listen, we don't know enough about this to start to. I'm not saying that this doesn't exist. I'm just saying we don't know if this is a situation where he's doing this. I don't even know who's on the title to our house. Kate, do you know? Is this something we should be looking up? I think we're both on the title. We both had to be there and sign a bunch of papers. That's for sure. I remember that. But I don't have like a safe in my house with a bunch of documents in it that's like, here's the deed. Bro, actually the law is like kind of silly. Even if, like, let's say Kate wasn't on the deed to our house. It seems like a stupid system where I could be like, well, Your Honor, we were married, and she lived in the house with me for a decade, but it's actually my house because of this piece of paper right here. And the judge is like, well, my hands are tied. The piece of paper does only have your name on it. So, it's the same. It just seems weird, right? It's like the same way when people are like, make sure you read the contract, which you should always do. But in the fine print, it could be like, you owe me $1 million. Blah, blah, blah. Like you wouldn't just go into court and be like, well, Your Honor, I was signing like an end user license agreement to download XCOM. And all of a sudden it says I owe $2K, $1 million. And they'd be like, well, did you fucking sign it? Sorry. It looks like you signed it, so my hands are tied. We should bring back common sense law. You know, like the Code of Hammurabi. I got to think about that one a little more. Will lead us to kings. Will freaking lead us to kings. But do you ever think that maybe like the law like needs to be rebuilt from the ground up? Because it's like when you write code, right? You're like, I'm going to make an elegant program. And then you're like, oh, there's an edge case. Okay, I'll compromise my ideals slightly to build in something to handle that edge case. And then it's just edge case, new framework, edge case. Someone got fired. We don't know how to rebuild the method that they did, so we're going to do it over here in like we're going to just rig it up ourselves. And then you just, at some point, don't you go like, I got to just tear this shit down and start from the beginning. I feel like that's like the law. We got to bring this shit back to like, let's start with like law number 1, don't kill people. And then we'll build it from there, but better. Why is your analogy so accurate? I have an associate's diploma in software engineering. I know a little bit. I can fizz buzz with the best of them. Ooh. Am I the asshole for asking for a morning off from my baby on the weekends? I think I can already tell you how this is going to go. I'm going to guess that this is something like my wife watches the baby all week, and I work all week, so I'm tired on Saturday. And let's see how the conversation goes from here. We got into an argument about it, saying I'm being very insensitive. I know she's exhausted and can't nap during the day, and she struggles getting back to sleep every time the baby wakes up, but I'm exhausted too. Work wears me out, and school days are long. Sometimes want that extra hour in the morning. I don't want to spend my time off napping. I want to play video games and chill out. I've gotten mixed opinions on who is in the wrong here, or if there is even anyone in the wrong. Am I the asshole for asking us to share mornings off for sleep? Listen, you guys were like 45, 55 until you said, I don't want to use my time off to sleep. I want to play video games. It's not because video games are not a worthwhile hobby or pursuit. It's just that your sleep and your spouse's sleep take precedent on it when you have a baby. If you want to stay up and play video games as the dad, and I don't do this because I respect my body and my psyche. If you want to play video games as the dad, then when you put the baby to sleep at night, maybe it's 8, maybe it's 9, you play the fucking games until 2 a.m. and then you wake up at 6:30 to go to work in the morning. You sacrifice on your own end you rob your own Peter to pay your own Paul. You don't rob anybody else's bucket to give yourself the video game time. You rob your own bucket wherever you can. If you think you desperately need the alone time for whatever, it could be reading a book, it could be playing video games, it could be, whatever, something leisurely, then, if you guys are both under control, if you're both cool, sure, take an hour here or there. If you're both, like, first 6 months is fucking, shit, it's Juno Beach, right? Like, you gotta start with the foundation of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Is everyone eating? Is everyone drinking enough water? Is everyone getting sleep? Then you don't worry about self-actualization until, maybe when she's like a year and a half, you can start to get back to that. So yeah, like, he is the asshole though. Like, I mean, I don't think he's a bad guy. Here's a little secret about having kids, and I only have one, right? Like, that's where I'm still in the tutorial. But like, fucking, you're tired. She's tired. Guess what? Fucking everyone's tired. Get up, go to work, look after your kid while you're tired. Cook them some like grilled cheese while they're tired. You cook, I can't keep my eyes open any fucking longer. Give them the grilled cheese. They throw the fucking grilled cheese across the room. You pick it up. You're tired. It left a little grease on the floor. You go get a paper towel and buff it out when you're fucking tired. Like, you're tired like a lot. So you should be handling, you and your spouse need to look after each other. You're not allied against the baby, but like, you have to make sure that like you're like rock climbers. One of you is climbing and one of you is belaying, So like when one person's climbing, every once in a while, the belayer should be like, hey, you good up there? You need me to take some of the resistance for you? It shouldn't be like once the person climbs the mountain and they're like, okay, your turn. You're like, actually, I just want to eat a snack down here. Sorry, your ass was belaying while I was climbing. Now your ass has got to climb while I belay, okay? So I don't think, he's not like an asshole, like he didn't threaten violence against anybody, but it's just like, everybody's tired. Listen, I have an easy job, especially physically speaking, but like, I'm a little tired after work sometimes. Looking after the baby is like 10 times more tiring. Like, I think most of the time if you work a physical job, is maybe different. But if you work like a white collar job, the person doing the stay at home duties, whether it's a stay at home mom or a stay at home dad, is probably more exhausted than you. Because you get to talk to adults all day and they have to debug like a machine that only makes one noise. And if they make a mistake, shit could go real wrong, like real quick. So anyway, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to make it a contest. I'm just saying, like, you have to make each other a higher priority than playing the video games. Now, like, our kid is 2. There's sometimes where I go to Kate and I'm like, usually it would be like a Friday night or a Saturday night. I'll be like, hey, just so you know, I would really love to have just like an hour off. If you could handle her nap tomorrow so I could just do whatever I want for an hour, that would be great. And she says, okay. And then like 45 minutes into, like the hour starts and I'm like, what am I going to do with all this free time? And then I do nothing. And after like 35 minutes, I'm like, I guess I'll just help out because I don't know, it's completely destroyed my abilities to have any hobbies. I might as well just, fill up the family bucket a little bit more. And Kate will do the same thing to me. She'll be like, I have this like a Japanese lesson. Can you watch her for 2 hours? And I'm like, absolutely, no problem. But at 6 months, you're in the shit, dude. You're in Charlie company, man. You don't get to take a day off when you're behind enemy lines. You kind of just gotta suck it up. I know you want to play God. You see the damage that God of War is doing to families across North America right now? On the one hand, I have a 6-month-old infant, and both me and my spouse are like tired and stressed out. On the other hand, it has a 94 Metascore right now, and I don't want to miss the discourse. I don't want to miss the discourse. You're the asshole. If she's taking all the night duty because you don't wake up, then you get the morning duty when you do wake up, so she can catch up on her lost sleep in the night. You want a morning off? Give her a night off. It's so simple when you put it that way. You're the asshole. You don't think she wants to just chill out and do something on her own time? She's working too by not just going to work, but also taking care of the baby. The least you could do is give her some time to sleep in. That's the other thing. Like, I know I'm in danger of being too based, but like being a stay-at-home parent is a job and you get paid for it. The way you get paid is by not having to pay for daycare. And that shit sometimes pays very well. Like, we have daycare 4 days a week for a month, and that shit is like $1,400 a month, something like that. And we live in a province and a country where there's like rebates on that. So we're actually like paying below market rate for daycare. So like if you're paying, if you're a stay-at-home parent, even in our situation, that you're making $1,400 a month just by looking after the kid. And that's only for 4 days. Add in a fifth day, I don't know, you'd be looking at like almost $2,000 a month, and that's after the rebates. So I don't even know if the government didn't like subsidize it, probably no kids would be in daycare because the shit would be like $3,500 a month. Plus, like, listen, your kid is 6 months old. When our kid was 6 months old, look, there's a lot of work, but when she is like, she's not even really like crawling around that much. You just put her in like the baby bouncer and give her like a rattle. You can play Rocket League or something like that. Like just chill out. You wait and listen, it's easier to parent like a 2-year-old than a 6-month-old. Don't get me wrong, because I can actually like ask my child what's wrong. And like it doesn't mean that it's like what's wrong? I'm hungry. Here's some food you like. Thank you, Daddy. Like it becomes more of like a Clarice versus Hannibal Lecter type thing sometimes. You know, I was driving my daughter home from daycare yesterday. She tried to get fucking Scarlet Witch into my brain. Just driving her home yesterday. She says, Daddy, you are not a good driver. I was just safely driving home, minding my own business, and like just catching a heater for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I don't know what you wanted me to do. Be like, skirt. There's sometimes, you know what it is sometimes because we live in a city, there's traffic. And when she wants to go home and have like a chocolate egg, she's like, Daddy, drive faster. And I'm like, look at you can't fucking drive faster. There's cars in front of me. Anyway. But if you think it's exhausting at 6 months, wait till she's 2. And it might even get harder from then. Wait till she's 2 and she's running around and she's jumping. And then you're like, don't do that. You're going to fall. And then she falls and she's like, ah. And you're like, I told you. And then you're like, here's a Band-Aid. And she's like, thank you, Daddy. And you're like, oh, so sweet. And then she's like, I want another Band-Aid. And I'm like, I already put a Band-Aid on your boo-boo. And she's like, I got another boo-boo. And I'm like, okay, where's your other boo-boo? And she's like, it's on my knee. And I'm like, I roll up her pants and I'm like, right here. And I'm like, there's no fucking boo-boo there. And she's like, I want a Band-Aid. And I'm like, okay, here's all the we were spending like $25 a month on Band-Aids just to placate her. You think it's exhausting at 6 months? Get ready. Like it doesn't, I'm not saying it doesn't get easier, but you're not stopping the hustle anytime soon. Wait until, instead of just taking the baby for a walk while they're in the stroller, Your outside baby duty is taking them to the park and then being in this position, squatted on your heels in the sandbox, going, "Oh yeah, what are you doing? Oh really? Oh, you're making like a sand fish. Okay, wow, that's cool. Wait until you're doing that for 2 hours every Saturday and Sunday." Walking up to other parents. I think your little one there has our shovel. Can we get that back? Anyway, just imagine the payoff when 2026 comes around. No, but then that's the thing, and I've seen this from dads of older kids. They'll make posts that are like, when I had no free time, all I wanted to do was have free time. Now my kid is like 12, and I don't know what to do with myself. And that's why you end up with like dads who are just like, I'm just gonna like be on the couch. They don't even have the TV on. They're just sitting there like. You know, my dad, when he wants to buy something, it doesn't have to be like a car. When he wants to buy like a chair, he does like 100 hours of research. Looks at every morning he goes to Wayfair, IKEA, Amazon, driving around to like local hardware stores. What are the reviews on this chair? What kind of wood is this chair made out of? But then there's a new chair sale coming in August. I just want to wait and see what the chairs get like. That's what you got to do. You go through this period where you have like a lot of free time. As a teenager and a young adult, I had a staggering amount of free time. You become like no offense, but like a real adult. More and more responsibilities fall on you, to maintain your household and, go see family and stuff. Like when you're like 20 and they're like, "Oh, can you visit grandma?" You're like, "No, fuck her." And then when you're like 25, you're like, "Okay, let's visit grandma." Like, I'm part of the family. You reintroduce yourself into the fold and your free time gradually declines. And then when you become, a parent, it goes to like zero. But I'm not sure if you ever, I think it's probably a struggle on the other side when your free time starts coming back to figure out before, when you had so much free time, you're like, "Oh, I'm so busy." I think as your responsibilities recede a little bit, you're probably like, "What the hell do I do to fill this hole?" I guess you volunteer or play golf or something like that. But anyway, I needed nighttime support from my partner when my child was a newborn. He didn't take it serious, and it took more effort for me to wake him up to help him than it was to just do it myself. I stopped feeling like a human. The resentment never went away. We divorced when the kid is 2. Owned, honestly. Well, our kid is not 3 yet, but we're gonna beat you. Sorry, skill difference. We don't know. This could be made up. It's all creative writing. Let me get the humor in while it lasts, okay? I also feel like you gotta know your spouse. Like Kate and I have not a dilemma. A balance is actually the word I'm looking for. Kate needs sleep. That's like the number one thing she needs. And everybody needs it, but that's like her highest tier requirement on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. For me, it's like number 2. I mean, as long as we're ignoring like oxygen. For me, number 1 is food, for sure. Like if I'm hungry, it's just the countdown till like I say something I regret, which is why I eat all day, pretty much continuously. So we have a balance in that. Where like, if the baby wakes up during the night, or if she's having a hard time getting to sleep, usually, not always, but usually I am the person who volunteers and is like, "Oh, she woke up crying 2 times last night at like 2 and 5. I'll go in, I'll put her back to sleep, and then I'll like sleep on the ground next to her for a little bit. No problem." But then the caveat there is if I'm ever like, it's time for lunch, she doesn't get to say, "Now let's just wait 30 minutes. That's, we were waiting for 30 minutes for the last 30 minutes. You just didn't know. So we got to get that lunch ASAP. In order to keep, it's like when your car says it's running out of gas, you don't go, "Just hold on a bit." You say, "Siri, where's the closest gas station?" Right? And it works that way. Or it works for us that way. Yeah, I've been waiting for lunch since before I had breakfast. Right after I eat breakfast, I'm like, man, I start daydreaming about what I'm going to have for lunch. Even if I know I'm just going to have a ham sandwich, it's the quantum superposition of lunch that maybe I'm not going to have a ham sandwich. Maybe I'm going to have some pizza. Maybe I'm going to have some poke. Maybe I'm going to have a samosa. I don't even know. Maybe I'm going to have some dosa. I don't know. And then I'm like, I'll just make a ham sandwich. It's quick. Oh, here we go. Am I the asshole for starting an argument because my boyfriend boarded a plane before me? What? How dare you board planes before me, baby? Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I didn't know it was your turn. This, Chib, I'll give you this one. This might be this one might be one for ketamine. By the way, I've never done ketamine. I don't even know. It's a tranquilizer. That's all I know about it. My boyfriend and I traveled by plane to go to my parents' house for Thanksgiving. We checked in together and had different boarding groups. He was group 1 since he is active duty military. I was group 3 for being a platinum hold Carter on the airline. And our budget is $1.2 million, and we're looking to buy a house. This is significant since both groups are considered priority boarding. Okay, have you followed this so far? We are both under the impression that boarding groups do not necessarily matter. We're seasoned travelers, very efficient when boarding planes, very normal, I assure you. And the only thing that does matter is that we're on the plane before the main... It doesn't matter who's better than... If I'm better than her, if he's better than me. The only thing that matters is that we're better than everybody else, okay? Which are the people who do not travel often and are generally slower when boarding planes. Just say it, asshole. You don't like to pay the checked bag fee, so you get a priority boarding pass with your platinum fucking card, and then you fill up all the overhead bins with your bags that should have been checked in the first place, and then all the plebs flying coach are walking into an empty cabin, and yet all the overhead storage bins are completely full, and you're like, there's one person sitting here, why are there 7 suitcases in the overhead bin? And then they're like, sir, don't worry, I can take that and check that for you. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. It's just got my laptop, my camera, and my phone in it. Go ahead. Then the bottom of the plane going, shit is like just pure silicone vapor by the time I open the bag. When the plane started boarding, they obviously called Group 1 first, the group for active duty military and unaccompanied minors. My boyfriend gets up and boards without me. I was annoyed since Groups 1 and 2 are both super small, and Group 3, my group, usually gets called super fast, if not combined with Group 2. Do you want to marry an airport? Why is this shit so specific? It's so fixated on the damn details of the boarding groups. Listen, I'm pro boarding groups. The only problem is like when your ass is in like Group 5 and then they call Group 1 and everybody in Group 5 starts lining up as if like they're going to get to us any minute. Nah, man. That shit is like 40 minutes away. Then people like, they go to the bathroom, they come out, they see nobody in line, and they're like, oh, give them my boarding pass. You can just see the conversation. The gate agent is like, sir, you're in Group 5. We haven't called you yet. What group did you just call? Group 2. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, thanks for delaying 200 people for 90 seconds because of your negligence. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. If everybody did it, we'd be 6 hours late, but it's not a big deal. This is why society's so fucked up. Anyway, sorry. After my group gets called, literally less than 5 minutes later, and I get on the plane, I told him he could have waited for my group to get called. We could have boarded together. He told me it wasn't a big deal. And I said it was, since we were traveling together. He'd never done that before. Why would he do it randomly now when he didn't have a reason besides it's for me? Why wouldn't I use that group, even though my group is still considered priority boarding? We got into a mild argument about it on the plane. Nothing huge since we were well on a plane. He thinks I'm being an asshole for starting an argument about and being upset about him boarding before me, but I think it's justified since he'd never done it before and he didn't say anything prior. This isn't a new thing where he just joined the military. He's been AD for 8 years. He's playing League of Legends? He's on the U.S. Army League of Legends team? This is who asked to the extreme. This is the way she's describing it. She's like, it's literally 5 minutes, so I don't understand why you didn't wait. Well, it's literally 5 minutes. I don't understand why your ass cares. If it's not a long time to wait, then why doesn't your ass just wait? You said it yourself. Isn't the whole point is that you just get on before other people? You still got on before the other 250 people in coach. Why are you making your life hard for no reason? I think I've seen him use his military ID for a discount one time in the entire time I've known him. Maybe his ass just needed a 5-minute break, honestly. And I feel like maybe after reading this post, there's some justification for that. Anyway, I accept that I'm being a huge asshole. I should have picked my battles and not started an argument over something so petty and small. I will be giving him a big apology this morning. Okay, well, it's character development. I don't even want to read this one. Like, obviously the posts, yeah. You say you're a seasoned traveler. Why are you so bothered he left your side for a few minutes? What's he going to do? Steal a Coke from the galley before you get on a plane? You know, it's true. What can you do? This post will probably make me unpopular. This is the Reddit classic. I'll probably get downvotes for this. 32,000 upvotes. What is this post? I can't even read this. Am I the asshole for crashing, in air quotes, my ex's mother's funeral and telling his children I'm carrying their sibling? It's a little messy. My ex's mother and I were very close. I knew her from long before I started seeing her son. I saw her as my own mother. Okay. Already weird. You're presenting this as if this is normal, but it is. This is very weird. It's immediately strange. If you didn't get it from the title, I'm pregnant with my ex's child. Unfortunate situation since he's back with his wife and things are tense. But that's the current situation. I was going there just for the funeral and to pay respect to an amazing woman who was treated me like her own child. I even sat at the back so as to avoid getting attention. However, attention came and my ex's wife came over to me saying I was not invited and crashing the funeral, so I must leave. Dude, they should have made a Funeral Crashers movie. Oh, they do crash a funeral in wedding. You're right. Okay, sorry. Ma, the meatloaf! Luckily, my ex's older brother intervened and said I was welcome. The only problem is that after this, he forced me to sit further in the front, literally put his arm around me and led me to the front, despite me saying I was fine to sit in the row reserved for family directly behind my ex, his wife, and their kids. While people were looking at the body, open casket. Their kids is such an unnecessary detail. Her head wasn't crushed in it. She was sick, okay? She wasn't run over by like a steamroller or stabbed a lot, okay? A lot of people are saying her head got crushed by a steamroller, but she died of a broken heart, actually. While people were looking at the body, open casket, their kids saw me. They came to hug me and noticed my stomach was big, so asked if I was pregnant. Their mother butted in and made a snarky comment, like, yes, darlings, she just can't stop making them. Mind you, I only have one other child, so this comment was purely to make me sound like a loose woman. Me, when I see someone pregnant when they already have one kid, ooh, yikes. But still, I bit my tongue. The youngest then asked if the child will have my red hair and her. This is all going down at the funeral? You got to have some sense of decorum. You don't just have like casual conversations. There's a service and like people speak. Some person that never met the deceased tells stories about their lives as if they were best friends, even though they don't know shit about them. Their mother overheard this and immediately called the kids back to her. Sorry. The youngest then asked if the kid will have my red hair, and the mother just scoffed and under her breath said something like, God forbid. So I was like, maybe, but your dad has brown hair, so the baby could look just like you guys, since the baby would be their younger sister or brother. Oh, man. The most convoluted way to get to the punchline, but it's so good. I left as soon as the funeral was over. I got a call later that night from my ex saying, what the hell? Telling their kids about the baby without talking to them first. He told me to stay away from his family. Am I the asshole? Edit. There was no affair. They separated. We dated. They decided to get back together. We broke up. It's what's so hard about that? It's a simple 4-step process. They separated. We dated. They decided to get back together. We broke up. In the meantime, we chose to have a kid together. Maybe there was an accident or something. I don't know. They both already knew about the pregnancy before the funeral. We were on a break. I'm not giving this post the time of day, okay? It's not real. And if it is real, it shouldn't be real. Your life is fucked up. You need to be an adult. It doesn't matter who's an asshole in this. You've willfully got involved in this mess. You need to grow up and take some responsibility and not let this shit happen in your life ever again. This is crazy. This is like a Days of Our Lives plot. You just chill out. I was watching a little Warzone this weekend and just hearing like the tunk, tunk. You know what I'm saying? Kung, kung. Oh, why did he's one shot? Dung, 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 dung. You know what I mean? Sorry, I've been yelling a lot, so I got a voice crack. I'm just seeing if I got some more water. I got a whole bottle, dude. Hold on. It's like... No, it's like this. Like this. Me, when I get a bottle of water, it's the Yoda that talks like a normal person instead of a Yoda. I did point to the camera first. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. I'm not good with shapes. Am I the asshole for not checking the scores of a certain NBA game on a 3-hour flight for a passenger on an in-flight Wi-Fi I paid for? Planes are so funny. The smallest things become huge in the air. Hold on. It is a Larry David moment. I was on a 3-hour flight on an airplane. Oh, what a relief. I thought he was on a damn dirigible. I didn't have any form of entertainment on me besides my phone, and you had to purchase Wi-Fi to use internet during the flight. Listen, I'm not even going to go into it. I'm not even old. You know how many flights I've taken where I just stared at the seat in front of me? It's weird because I know we were talking about like meditating earlier, and I'm like, I can meditate for about 45 seconds and that's it. I've had a lot of flights, bus rides, train rides, where I just be like, and just kind of get lost. Read the in-flight magazine through like 2 times and then just be like, oh, we're here. So like you tell you don't have to justify buying the Wi-Fi. I'm just saying that the fact like you were like I have no choice but to buy the Wi-Fi is a little crazy. Your ass could just like sit there a little bit. It was $8.99 for the whole trip, so I decided to purchase it since I didn't want to be bored the entire trip. There was a passenger sitting next to me. He asked if I could check the score for a certain NBA game. Since I paid for the Wi-Fi, I should be able to use it however I want, so I said no. He wouldn't accept no for an answer and said it would take less than 5 seconds. I said, I don't care. You can buy Wi-Fi yourself if you want to know so badly. Would I be the asshole in this situation? Yeah, like, why are you being so weird? He can also be the asshole, but why are you being so weirdo? I just don't understand. He shouldn't feel like you have he has the right to compel you to do something you don't want to do. But, like, it honestly sounds like you want to invoice him for, like, the 17 cents worth of time it would spend to look it up. Like, this guy, I know not everybody's brain works like this. But this guy basically said, do you want to be friends? And you said, why would I ever want that? Like, that's basically what happened here. He probably wanted to know the score of the basketball game because he had $100 riding on it on DraftKings or whatever. That's beside the point. He offered you an olive branch. It basically said, it was like a rock, and painted on the rock, it said, basketball fan? And you said, get bent. I spent $9. Hey, I'm paying $3 an hour for the Wi-Fi. And you think I should get out of my ivory tower and tell you the score of a basketball game? And then you made a post about it on Reddit later? It's just so weird. Everybody sucks here. We live in a society and the animals are leaving and... We live in a society where it is customary to extend small favors and courtesies to people if it will take us less than 5 seconds to do. You should have just told him the score. He's also an asshole for not taking no for an answer. True. But let's find some crazy posts. I want to live in a world where strangers can ask simple favors and others are pleased to grant them. Well within your rights to say no, but you're the asshole. Okay, yep, another sane head. Can you tell me what time it is? I bought my own watch. If you want to know what time it is, go buy your own. There's people who think like that, unfortunately, I think. I hope it's not too many, but... If the game had happened and you didn't check the score, I'd have said the asshole. Was happening, you're opening yourself up to check for it through the rest of the game for the rest of the flight or any other game. It's one of those if you give a mouse a cookie moments, and if they're entitled enough to argue with a stranger about something they didn't pay for, they won't just ask once and leave it be. Now we're talking. If you said yes to one thing, you're going to have to say yes to everything forever. Then you'd be the asshole. It's that classic tale of the bunny stealing out of the mailbox. Sorry, I can't resist the spam. The mouse needs ketamine nasal spray. True. I had something similar happen to me on a 6-hour flight. A lady asked me to check the weather or something, and I agreed and thought it was all done. Then she kept asking me to look things up and would say, you looked it up for me before, it's just one thing, and wouldn't leave me alone for the next 5 hours. Listen, I'm not saying this shit didn't happen, but you need to, like, be nice, but also, like, grow a spine. Like, you need to be like, okay, there's the weather, and then maybe look up, like, one more thing and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I have some work to do. You just, like, tell a nice lie, and then go back to watching Netflix or something like that. And then if she's like, you're just watching Netflix, I thought you had work to do, you'd be like, oh, I'm a casting agent. And your ass just got blacklisted. And I don't work for the show The Blacklist, so that's bad. You're never going to work in this town again. +2. We're just like, you can't just look at it. It's a 5-hour flight. Can't you just look up shit for like 2 minutes and then be like, oh, I'm really tired. Pretend to be asleep a little bit? Like, this is... I work at Netflix. I'm proof watching the show. So true. You ever wonder how they get such good subtitles? That's me. Me repeating the character's dialogue to myself while I watch the Netflix show with subtitles off. This ad is speaking to me. Looking to change careers? The 9-month UBC Master of Management has dedicated coaches to help you plan your future. Really? Listen, don't get me fucking started on the fact that this shit is advertising UBC with a photo of downtown Vancouver. False advertising. UBC campus is beautiful, but that shit is in Kitsilano. Don't show me a photo of downtown Vancouver and then tell me my ass ain't on the damn 99B line at 7 a.m. going out past Pacific Spirit Park. Why was that picture so head-ass IKEA? I still don't know what it means. Hold on, I'm going to eat like this whole piece of Spam, honestly. Check out Rumbleverse real quick. Delicious. It's funny because for Spam, they broke the mold when they made it because it's one of a kind. But they made the mold because every single loaf looks exactly the same. I didn't know Vancouver had mountains like that. Bro, we're nestled. We're like, you know, you see Todd Howard loves Vancouver because you see those mountains there, you can climb them. You can even see it for yourself. There's a little damn ski hill just above the harbor center. It's pointing right to it. That is what downtown Vancouver looks like. I'm not saying this wasn't photoshopped, but like it might have been touched up, but they did not move the mountains closer. Let me put it that way. No, this is not my view. This is the view Trainwrecks has. I look outside of my window. I see the dumpster that we saw in GeoGuessr that one time that says Joan Cusack on it for whatever reason. That view happens like once every 5 years. No, it happens all the time. There are some times. Today it was very foggy, but even like after it rains, you get that view. And then there's some forest fires. We get that view, I would say like 180 times a year, like 50% of the time. Don't insult us. It's very scenic here. No, I promise it's beautiful. Fine, don't come here. Make it easier for me to go to the places I normally go to without having to trip over tourists who are taking a fucking selfie in the bike lane. Like, bleh, it's me in front of a slightly tall building. Bleh. Don't threaten me with a good time. That's it? No? I don't know what to do. Nothing. So check out, I mean, I got 9 minutes left. That's enough time to lose a game of Rumbleverse. Rumbleverse support. Rumbleverse is offline. Maintenance has begun. Wait, no, that's not the most recent tweet. Rumbleverse. GG to Rumbleverse. Hi, Rumbleverse support. Rumbleverse support. Rumbleverse support. Holy cow. No results for Rumbleverse support. Is Twitter okay? Don't answer that. Rumbleverse. Rumble support is what it's called. Okay. We are continuing to investigate longer matchmaking times. Honestly, I don't think it's ready to go, man. I think it's still done. Maybe we can play some Rumbleverse tomorrow, though. My problem with Zombs, when it had to be authenticated by the Discord launcher, I didn't mind. Now, when I launch it through the Discord launcher, it tells me it needs an update, but it doesn't update through the Discord launcher. So I don't know if it's side-loading some malicious code or something like that. Now, I'm not saying I don't trust the developers. All I'm saying is I'm not saying I have reason to distrust the developers. All I'm saying is I also have no reason to trust them except for the fact that they made my game of the year. New Dark Pictures game Friday. Let's go. I don't know. I think I might just eat some Spam, man. I might just sit here and eat some Spam. Let's see it. You want a bite? One of my food bucket list items, and it should not be hard to get. I've never had Spam musubi. I know it's Hawaiian, but I went to a Japanese cultural festival once where they were serving it, and I was like, I'm gonna have some Spam musubi. And then like a minute later, Kate was like, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. So then we left. And it's haunted me ever since. You could make it? Yeah, but like listen. Sushi is one of those foods, and I get musubi is not quite the same thing. I'm not making sushi at home. I see people on Twitter, and I know how this sounds. This sounds really bad, especially if you're proud of the sushi you made at home. Like, I've seen the photos, and I'm like, it looks okay, but I bet it tastes fucking bad. Like, if the rice just came straight out of the fucking rice cooker, that glutinous sort of like rice where it's all sticking together, and then you added like a little rice wine vinegar to it or something like that, and then you slice some salmon and put it on. I bet that shit tastes like not that good. Makes a great photo for Instagram, but not a great photo, or not great in your tummy, in my opinion. -2? I bet your home. I'm sorry to tell you this. I bet your homemade sushi is not that good. You might say that's insane because you've eaten it and I haven't. But also, I need to know. I don't need to know where you live, but I need to know like your zip code. Because if you're telling me that your homemade sushi is amazing and you live in Des Moines, I'm going to be skeptical. Okay? If they live in Pittsburgh, I'm gonna be a little skeptical. If you were from Pittsburgh and you were like, here's my top 10 restaurants that put French fries on the sandwich, not only would I take your opinion seriously, I would take it more seriously than mine, and I would probably go to number 1 on the list unless it was too busy, in which case I would go to like number 2 or 3. I wouldn't, and similarly, if I was in Des Moines, I don't know what Idaho's famous for. I'm going to guess that it's beef because it's in the Midwest. If I went to Iowa and someone was like, you got to try this $3 ribeye at the grocery store, then I would be like, dude, I'm all in. I bet you have a smoker outside of your house. I bet you have a charcoal barbecue. I bet you got everything. In a 3-story house for under $400,000. So true. Please look up Idaho New Year's potato drop. Idaho New Year's potato drop. It has a 4.2 out of 5 on Google reviews. Super exciting, one-of-a-kind way to ring in a brand new year. Ugly, cheesy, overhyped, and overpriced. This is a lot of... Opinions vary, I would say. VIP tickets. Oh my God. VIP tickets were supposed to include a large 40 by 100 tent with full crystal clear 360-degree view of the Idaho potato drop. There were 2 small tents, maybe 20 by 20 each. VIP tickets were to include a cocktail, but you had to stay inside the small, crowded tent to drink your beverage, if you could even get in. VIP tickets were oversold for the space provided. The event organizers replied to an email stating there was seating, food, drink, and entertainment for VIPs. I think a couple dozen bar stools for several hundred VIP tickets is completely ridiculous. The event was marketed as opening at 7 p.m., and we were there by 7:15 p.m. People from Idaho, when they're at an event where there's other people for the first time, this is like me just trying to find seating inside of like a damn Vancouver Chipotle. Just standing there eating out of a compostable bowl in the middle of the hall. Like, shit, there's no place to sit. I guess I'll just go eat this in my car. Well, welcome to going to events that other people also want to go to. We're only like a third of the way into this review, by the way. The event, when I tried to question the organizer/founder, Dylan, he was rude and wouldn't answer a simple question on if there was any other seating available. I understand the permitting process can be a challenge and event production is stressful, but organizers should follow through with what they advertise or change what they promise to provide. My 1-star review could easily have been avoided had the organizers acknowledged the issues. A simple apology would have been enough. The event was poorly organized. But what is the potato drop? Did the potato not drop? 2020 1-star review. 2021 New Year's was very disappointing. No fireworks, no potato, no fun. Hopefully 2022 will be pandemic free. Response from owner. Please reconsider your 1-star rating to reflect the event has brought joy to people in downtown Boise for 8 years. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, the Idaho registered trademark symbol Potato Drop could not secure a permit to legally host this event in downtown Boise. We did provide a free live broadcast with fireworks, a snowboard competition, and the countdown at midnight with the Glow-tato. This was available to watch on KTVB Channel 7, KTVB.com, IdahoPotatoDrop.com, and Twitch. Idaho Potato Drop is a free and charitable event. Please take this time to revise your review. That is so good. 1-star review. I didn't go. Response from the owner. If you did not go, why would you give a 1-star review? Please consider removing your review or attending the event at least before you give it a 1-star rating. Thank you. Oh, man. Oh. Oh, man. This is crazy. Idaho Potato Drop. Love it. Great show. Better than the 4th of July, but damn, those coffee lines were long. And just had personal trouble with people in the crowds trying to steal. Better than the 4th of July. That is a great compliment. Thank you. 5-star review. Family-friendly event with a lot of restaurants nearby to kill time before the potato drop. What the hell is it? Everyone's talking about the potato drop like it's self-describing. Is it like they dropped the ball on New Year's Eve, but instead of a ball, it's a big potato? That's exactly what it is. Okay, maybe it is self-describing. I just like the reviews, man. Idaho drops a giant winged potato on New Year's Eve. They got an official Twitter account. The 10th annual world-famous Idaho Potato Drop, Idaho's signature holiday event. Hold on, Twitter doesn't load videos anymore, so I can't share this.
In Idaho, we talked about yesterday. This I got to see. It's got wings.
It's got wings. Anyway, well, that's cool. I apologize for all the insulting things I said about Idaho. Let me see if my wife is ready to stream. And while we wait, someone said, please check out the reviews for Booed Tunnel. Okay? I'll take a look. In the UK, a tourist attraction in Booed, England. It's got a 4.8. That's incredible. Not sure why people rave about this. It's next to a supermarket and is a means to an end. Shortest way to gain entry to said supermarket, and your will be dry on a rainy day. Looks like a trolley shelter to me. Visited for the first time today. Now have a GF. Don't go here. Don't waste your time. Was basically like walking through a greenhouse and way too expensive at 20 quid. I think he's talking about the grocery store. It's a perspex shield for shoppers in the rain. Utilitarian at best. Don't waste your time on a visit. Hung up on me when I tried to book. Oh, dude. That is great. Ugly. 1 star, 1 star, 1 star. Free parking for 90 minutes. Please do not visit if you are not intentionally traveling the Bood. It is just a small tunnel next to Sainsbury's. So waste of time unless you want free parking. There wasn't much to see, but the tunnel is one of the only places in Bood with fast and free Wi-Fi. Okay, how about highest? After a week of dramatic, wind-swept coastal walks and superb beach adventures, we didn't think our adrenaline glands had anything left in them, but thank goodness they did, as the Bood Tunnel has your heart racing from entrance to exit. Brace yourself for a roller coaster of emotions. And don't be afraid to take a pause halfway through just to gather and recalibrate your senses. Thoroughly recommend to the emotionally hardy, but the more fragile traveler should consider the longer-term effects of such an assault on the senses. A truly life-changing experience. We drove 5.5 hours from Surrey down narrow country lanes for this beautiful architectural masterpiece. Confucius once said, roads are made for journeys, not destinations, and this stunning spectacle epitomizes all the meaning behind his words. The architectural wonders and its natural beauty from a breathtaking array of polished perspex panels. Confucius also probably said, Bude Tunnel is lit. An absolute marvel of modern architecture. I flew from Australia all the way to UK to see this tunnel, and I was not disappointed. I have a child due in 4 months. I will be naming her Bood after this tunnel. These are jokes, right? Visited yesterday after a day exploring Bood. I didn't bother uploading pictures because they just didn't do the tunnel justice. It's so good. Slurp. This is incredible. Please look up Ikeston NatWest ATM hole next. Ikeston NatWest ATM hole. It's got a 4.7. This must have been one of the best. A lot of similar faces here. As an American watching the slow descent of my country into fascism, I often struggle to find the meaning or purpose in my life daily, but that was until I learned about the NatWest hole in the wall. Its circular figure reminded me that just as the pendulum of a grandfather clock swings to and fro, or perhaps the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail, it was then that I realized the cyclical nature of progress, that during times of great oppression follows periods of sustained progress where we learn from our mistakes. I don't know. I'm out. Respect to NatWest hole in the wall. YOLO bath salts. Incredible. What? I don't even know what this means. Is this okay to say? Incredible. Got our lass up the Swanee here. Coming back in 9 months with a paddling pool of holy water to have the young'un christened. What the fuck does that mean? It's... I think I know what it means, but I don't know what any of the words mean. I know what he's saying, but I don't know what the fuck he said. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Later.
Are you reeling in the years? Sucking away the time? Are you changing your gears? Have you had enough of diddle 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 diddle. You guys like Steely Dan?